All of you, I think, know Tayler Liles. Her and her sister have been bouncing all over the world recently. Tayler had the opportunity to go and do a mission trip in Haiti, and so you're going to share, and you brought pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. So, yeah, you're up back there, Mr. Burton. Right ahead. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Well, I had some notes, but in between the car and the pew, I lost them. So I had to jot some down really quick. So I went to Haiti. I stayed right outside of the capital city, Port-au-Prince. We stayed in a neighborhood called Carrefour. And the picture up now is a picture of my group. There's 27 of us. We stayed in a house with 2 bathrooms. So that was a struggle. We had power part of the time. Most of the time it chose to go off at night. We had running water for part of the time. Took a few bucket showers. There was lots of bugs. It was hot. There was no air conditioning, but I loved it, every minute of it. You can go ahead and move to the next picture. This is a street in the neighborhood that we were in, and we went on prayer walks, and oh, thank you. Got my notes. So we went on prayer walks, and basically people would just come up to us, and they knew what we were there for, and they would ask us for prayer, or we would just go into a random house and see what they wanted. People never asked for prayer for money or food. They never asked for anything material. They always wanted prayer for their faith to be strengthened and for their families to remain strong and like health and stuff like that. So that was really encouraging because they literally had nothing, but they never asked for anything either. You can go to the next picture. This was VBS. We did VBS at a church with the kids for 2 days. That was really fun. There was a lot of them, and they were crazy. We did songs. One of our guys brought a guitar, so that was really helpful. We played games. The picture on the bottom is actually a Bible story. We did Jonah and the whale. That's the whale, and there's Jonah in there in the middle. And you can go to the next picture. This was one of the crafts we did with them. They got to color, and they got to keep a little bag of stickers and crowns, and they don't really have crowns there, so they only get them when the Americans come. So that was fun for them, and they colored and put stickers all over their face, and it was funny. So that was a good experience because the kids really, they knew already about a lot of what we were talking about, but we were able to share even more. You can go on. This is a garbage pile, and it was entering into what is called a tent city. And there's a picture I wanted to put, but it was really blurry, so I couldn't, but there's people actually digging through the garbage. That's kind of, one of our translators told us that was kind of, for a lot of people, like going to the store. They go and dig through the garbage. So you can go to the next. This was the tent city, and this was more like shacks, but there was some that were actual tents. But these people had metal roofs, most of them at least, and a little bit more support, but it still was nothing. And we did like a prayer walk through there, and we passed out rice to them. And they believed in God, but they had no Bibles, and they weren't able to go to a church because most of the churches were very close to people, and these people would have had to walk very far, and they can't leave their homes. It's very hard for people to leave their homes in Haiti. So the conditions there were really, really bad. No beds, barely any living space. They just sort of sat around all day. You can go to the next picture. This was a baby we saw in the tent city, and we went in, and everyone just immediately magnetized towards the baby. And it was so cute, and we were all goo-goo over it. And then we found out that a baby that was less than 3 pounds, someone held it, and they said there's no way it weighed more than 3 pounds, was 6 months old. And its little belly was bloated, and the mother was very, very tiny. And so we gave them a lot of rice But that's pretty normal to see something like that. So that was kind of hard, I guess. So you can go to the next picture now. We went to 2 orphanages while we were there, and this was the first one. And we went there twice, and the conditions there were really, really, really bad, as you can see. There's a group called Project One Haiti, and they work specifically with orphanages, and they came in a couple years ago and redid everything and gave them a garden on the roof, gave them bathrooms, gave them beds, gave them a kitchen, all the stuff. It looked brand new. And the mother who runs the orphanage got ill, and so the father took over and her kids, and this is what it is now. And there's a lot of kids being abused, a lot of them not being fed, only when there's leftovers, and that never happens because the family will sell what they have rather than giving it to the kids. But the kids were so sweet, and it's funny because when you go into pretty much anywhere with kids, but especially the orphanages, they kind of like grab you and you're theirs for the time that you're there. And so everyone kind of had their own child. And they only want love. They just want to be loved. And they know that you're going to leave, and they know that you don't want to leave. But so you can go to the next picture. We went the second time to this same orphanage, and because we knew that they weren't being fed and treated well, we wanted to give them a big breakfast. So we made French toast, and we piled on the sugar, the syrup, powdered sugar, sprinkles, jelly, fruit, juice, everything. And then when we left, we gave them cookies. So we were there for a couple hours, and they were just on a sugar high the whole time. And they loved cameras. They loved to take pictures and see themselves, and they loved to listen to our music. And when we were there, I was sitting on the steps and just watching everything happen. And there was about 3 little kids with sunglasses on and someone's hats, and they were jumping on the bed listening to music, dancing to the music, and it was really, really funny. And we left them. They were still all hyped up, so. You can go to the next one. This little boy, I'm sure it's all over Facebook, so if you have Facebook, you've probably seen this picture. He was the one who chose me. He grabbed my hand the first day we were there, and he wouldn't talk. I tried to ask him his name, all the questions that they taught us to ask them. And he just was very unresponsive, and the whole time he just wanted to be held. And so I just held him the whole time. And then we went back again, and the minute he saw me, he ran up to me, and I just held him again the whole time. Everyone else was playing, and he just wanted to be held. And I didn't know his name, I didn't know how old he was, I didn't know anything about him, but I did know that I loved him. And the lady from Project One Haiti was actually at our house later that day, and I was able to talk to her about him, and he was deaf. So that's why he wasn't talking, or he couldn't hear what I said. But so this boy had the biggest impact on me when I was there, just because he was one of the ones being abused. You could see he had scars and marks all over his arms. And he was only about 3 years old. And just knowing that he wasn't being taken care of, and that he did have a special need, that no one was there to teach him sign language, no one was there to take care of him. And that was the hardest part for me, but it also, I think, was my favorite part. So that's my last picture, and I just want to thank everyone so much, because this trip wouldn't have been possible without you guys, and it was definitely a life-changing experience, and I want to go back. So thank you so much. It really means a lot to me that you were supporting me, and we're very, very blessed to be where we are. So thank you.